Hello, this is Chad with Syncfusion, and I have a customer question about our React schedule control and doing a drag drop. So let's take a look. Here's the actual question. Customer wants to know if they can use a grid instead of a tree view for dragging and dropping. Now, why did they ask a question that way? So here is our drag drop sample from our sample browser for our schedule control. And if you look at this, there's a wait list on the right, and this is just a simple tree view control. So that's why the customer wants to know if they can use a grid instead of this tree view. And of course that's possible, or I wouldn't be doing the video. But I'm going to do a couple other things in this sample to make it a little more interesting. Let's take a look at this. If I drop Laura here, then we get this nice big pop-up. And I don't want the pop-up, so I'm going to show how to make that go away. And I'm going to show how to change the size of these cells, because maybe you don't want to default to a 30-minute meeting. Maybe you want something different. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And let's get into the sample now. So here's the sample. A couple things I did right off the bat is I put the grid control on the bottom because I just didn't have the real estate left and right. And I have made the appointments, this is called the interval on top. This is called the interval. It is a minute measurement. And in this case, it is 120 minutes. And I have 3 slots, which means each slot is 40 minutes. Now, if I change this, actually, here's the line of code that does it. If I change my interval to be 60 and leave my slot count at 3 and refresh it so my little pop-up goes away, then we now have 20-minute intervals. So there's still 3, but there's 20. So you can adjust your interval count. You can just, the interval count, and you can adjust the slot count to make each of these cells have a different value. And the cell itself knows its start time and its end time. It knows that it is Robert's row and it is under the general group. That's just information that the cell knows out of the box because we've set all that up. Now let's take a look at how this is put together. The grid control is going to do all the drag and drop work. It's all done by the grid. Here's the grid control here. And we are registering for the on-drop event, and we've defined our drop settings. Drop settings are important. It lets us know, the drop settings lets us know what the target of the drop is going to be. In this case, we're targeting our schedule. So on the drop event, we're going on the drop event is here, drags. If you stop dragging, you're dropping. We're going to pull it out now. The cell data is the data for this particular cell. So the cell the cell knows its group, it knows its resource. It's all here. And we're going to create the event based upon the data in the dragged arguments. Once we create the event, we're going to just simply add it to the schedule. So when I drag this up here and drop it, it just appears. There's no longer a pop-up menu. And the pop-up menu comes because in this particular sample, we're telling it to open the editor. Open editor. This does what you think it does. And here we're just creating the event. Creating the event here, then we're going to remove it from the grid control. And it's often done. And it's all done that way. If you want a little bit more information about it, this is our schedule control. And here we're setting our event settings. This is where we're defining our data source for the schedule is under event settings. And we're adding all these fields. We're adding these fields because we want some customization in how this looks. This should be a patient name instead of a title. If we go look at our default schedule, this pop-up window has a title, has a start, end. We want to change that to be a patient name and be a from and to, just because we want to be different. But the sample is meant to be a doctor's office, and it makes more sense to have a patient name than a title. And the event settings is where we're defining all of that. The patient name is the title, the name is the field, doing all that. The resource directives, this is giving us this information here. The department and the consultant. Department and consultant are defined here in our resources. Okay, so that was a quick overview of this sample. We solved it. It was just that easy. And thank you for watching.